One of mine is bigger than the other. What do? I want big ol' honkin' titties. Are you happy with the size now? And I feel like the first time around, I got swindled. Do they feel different to the touch? They were like squishy. They were like boobs. How long did the surgery take? This time around, I actually woke up during my surgery. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, you guys, we're gonna talk about the girls. We're gonna talk about the girls, part 3 to this video. I actually have my checkup, my post-op checkup today. So I figured I would get ready for my post-op checkup with you guys, and I would take this time to answer all of your questions when it comes to the girls. For those of you guys that don't know, I got my boobs redone a few weeks ago. I would say about 2 weeks ago, and we're thriving, we're glowing, we're growing, we're dropping, we're fluffing, all the things. And I'm definitely gonna get more into like my experience in this video a lot more. I asked you guys to ask me questions on my Instagram, and you guys definitely did. A lot of you did not hold back, and I love to see it. Like, I love to have an open conversation about something that should be openly talked about and not be so taboo, because at the end of the day, what a woman wants to do with her body should be up to the woman and her bodies, because we own our bodies around here. And by the way, I'm priming with the e.l.f. what's this called? The Power Grip Primer, but this has niacinamide in it, which is really awesome. And then these little drops from Burst are hydrating drops, which I definitely need. So that is what I use to prep my face with. My face is so tacky right now. And then I'm using my Urban Decay spray because I do have to go to my appointment, but I also have a lot of other things I have to do. So I want my makeup to last. But anyways, first question, pain level. You guys, second time around, and also I think I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone because somebody also asked what's the pain the second time around, and somebody literally was like, pain level right now. Pain, I'm not feeling much pain this time around. You guys, the first time around kicked my butt, and I feel like the first time around I got swindled. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Everybody in that doctor's office was like, you're gonna be fine within the next 3 days. Like, you're gonna be back to work, you're gonna be chilling, you're gonna be cruising. After my first breast augmentation, I was out for like 3 weeks. Physically, I would say I couldn't really do much for the first full week. Like, that's how bad the pain was. I think it was because I was so small, and I don't think you guys realize like how flat chested I was, because I always wore a push-up bra, or I always wore a padded bra. So when I first got my boobs done and you guys were like, we can't tell a difference, you guys, in a bralette, I looked the size I would look like with a bra on before, if that makes any sense to you at all. Like, I was very, very, very small. My muscles were not used to it. My body was obviously not used to having boobs and that weight around it. My muscles were stretching. I was in so much pain all the time. And not only that, but the medication made me very sick, very irritable, and I was very sensitive, which I will say, I feel like that's how I'm reacting to the medication right now, like hormonally and emotionally. Like, I'm just an emotional wreck. And while I am still taking the pain meds, I'm nowhere taking the required dosage. So I am completely off the muscle relaxers. I stopped taking the muscle relaxers day 3 because I feel like the muscle relaxers last time, those were my kryptonite. Like, those made me so sick, and even this time around they made me so sick, so dizzy. I'm now just on the actual pain meds, the meds that were prescribed to handle the pain, and those I'm supposed to take 2 every 4 hours. You guys, I take 2 or right before I go to bed, and that's it. Like, I don't really take pain medication throughout the day because I can handle it throughout the day. That's how bearable it is. I just feel sore, I feel a little swollen, but that's about it. That's where my pain level is at, and I feel great. But this is my second time around. So if you're thinking about getting your girls done, just keep that in mind. By the way, the brand new Essence Keep Me Covered Long Lasting Foundation is so good. It is so good. I'm so obsessed with this foundation, and it wears forever, and it really is such a great foundation. Anyways, a second question. Are you happy with the size now? Was it easier the second time around? Okay, yes, very much easier the second time around. And yes, I'm so much more happy with my size. You guys, when I first got them done, I was happy with the size. I was happy when the band first like came off after my first surgery, but then the swelling went down, and I for some reason was under the impression that like when they dropped and fluffed, because that's an actual term when you get a breast augmentation, look it up, dropping and fluffing is an actual term. When they dropped and fluffed, I was like, they're gonna be like big, they're gonna be like what I wanted them to be, and you know, like that's just the mentality that I had. And I was like, 225 cc's, like that sounds like a lot. It's not. It's honestly like one of the most minimal amount of breast implant sizes that you can get. Like it's very small. I don't know. I feel like I was just trying to be like more positive about it. And once I was done healing and my surgeon at one of my final appointments, he was like,
by the way, like you're all the way healed, like they're dropped and fluffed all the way, like you're pretty much like what you got is like what you got.
And I was like, not that I was disappointed, but your girl was disappointed. And when I like got out of the appointment, I remember like feeling like disappointed. Like I went through all that and to be left with like not the size that I wanted, like I still had to do a lot of work to have cleavage. And that's what I got the procedure for. But that was my naive mind, you guys. And at the time in my mind, I was like, I also don't want like big boobs. Like I was like, I want to be more modest, but I also wanted big boobs and to have cleavage. Like you really have to know what you want when you're going into getting a breast augmentation. Like really know what you want, really know in your mind what you want, and don't hold back, and don't be embarrassed or ashamed to be like, I want them to be big. Like I want big old honking titties. Like that's not a bad thing when it's what you want, and might as well get what you pay for. That's something I wish I would have done the first time around and not have to go through all of this again. But you live and you learn, you guys. But I'm very happy with the results I have now. I got 400 cc's this time on both of them, and I am spilling out of my like C cup bralette, like spilling out. But I don't have any bralettes bigger, so I'm kind of just like hanging in there. And I think today after my appointment, I might buy like some new bras. But for now, I mean, we're hanging in there and we're hanging out. But we're doing good. Next question before we start on eyeshadow. How long did the surgery take? The surgery, honestly guys, my surgeon works pretty fast. It takes about an hour and a half, I think. By the way, I'm using the Rose Quartz palette. I think I'm just gonna use one color or two. I think I'm just gonna go in with Gratitude, which is very befitting. But yeah, he works really fast. It takes about an hour to an hour and a half. And then they keep you in observation for about an hour. So for example, my surgery started, I think at 6:30. I was out of there by maybe 9 o'clock. And then I was at home by 10. Don't remember much of that day, if I'm being completely honest with you. I mean, you guys saw the vlog. I was pretty gone. By the way, I'm gonna use Glazed Lip Kit by Larly Los Angeles. This is her highlighter palette. Somebody asked a very good question. Does it cost the same to get them done the second time around? For me, it costs a little bit less. And by I mean like a little bit less, I mean like a little bit less. But it does cost slightly less, and depending on the implants and the size you went the first time around, I think honestly it affects the price if you want to get them redone the second time around. Because I did have to get like new implants, because the first implants I got, like they wouldn't go up to the 400 cc's. So I had to get like new implants, and then I opted for like the same sedation. So I mean, it kind of all came out to about the same, but I will say it was a hair of a difference, like less. Did you do the Twilight or the full anesthesia? That is a great question. Like you guys, I can tell a lot of you have researched or either gotten your boobs done or thought about getting your boobs done, and again, have done their research for it. So I got the Twilight sedation. There's something about me, guys, that I'm like full anesthesia freaks me out. I don't know why. But this time around, and it's like a crazy story, but this time around, I actually woke up during my surgery. Like I legit woke up. I wasn't like fully awake. Like I kind of remember this, but I remember it enough to know that it wasn't a dream, and I like know that it happened, but I wasn't like fully awake, if that makes any sense. Like I was conscious, but I was still like woozy, but I didn't feel any pain, and I could just feel like hands on me. Like I saw the surgeon, I saw the nurses around, and I felt like hands on me, and I felt like movement, but I didn't feel pain, which is awesome. Like thank the Lord. But I woke up during my surgery, and I remember being like, hey, like I was happy. I mean, I'm sure the laughing gas or whatever they put you under like makes you feel good or whatever, but I was like, hey. And even the surgeon was like,
hey, how you doing? Do you feel anything?
And I was like, nope. And then I just see him do this to his nurse, and I immediately got put back out. It was immediate. I don't know how they do it. I will never understand, but I'm so glad that I was like amongst such professionals and it wasn't like a traumatic experience at all. If anything, like when I have to get them redone again, because when you get breast implants, it is recommended every 10 to 15 years to get them switched out. I'm 100% going to go back with that team. They just do such a good job. And I don't know, like I just really trust them. And I really, really, really love my surgeon. I think he just knows what he's doing. I think he has an area of expertise when it comes to breast augmentations, period. And like, I just love him. Like I love him and I love my results. Somebody wants to know, what was your process of picking your surgeon? I'm thinking about going through with this surgery, but I'm nervous where to start. Okay, so this is a great question. And I'm so happy that you asked this question because I feel like I went about it the best way now that I have gotten my boobs done. And one of the things that came with that was like talking and like connecting with other women who have had their girls done. And I've talked with so many who, it's not that they weren't happy with their size, it's that they were unhappy with like the shape and just the overall surgeon they went to. And this is one area where I feel like I was very blessed and we went about it the right way. And by we, I mean Brandon and I, because Brandon was very involved in this process with me because he was very like nervous and scared until we did our research and really looked into the facts and the figures. And once we started looking at surgeons, I told him exactly what I wanted my boobs to look like because I have been not researching the topic, but like I've been on the threads, you know, like my algorithm was catered to like breast implants for a while, so I know what I wanted and I know what I liked, and I definitely knew what I didn't like. And I knew that when I got my boobs done, if I ever got my boobs done at this point in time, I was like, I want them to look as natural as possible. And I don't want them to be like these like perky, fake looking, for lack of better words, something that rhymes with corn boobs. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want them to look like that. I didn't want them to look plastered on me and look like I'm carrying around cantaloupes on like my stick body. Like I didn't want that. I wanted a nice teardrop natural boob shape, and I wanted them to be like as soft as possible, as like squishy as possible. So I did my research, and the surgeon that I went to specializes in that. When I saw his before and after pictures, I was like, this, because he leaves like the prettiest teardrop looking boobies, and it doesn't matter what size you go, like he just does them right. I did my research. I knew I wanted to go with saline because saline is a lot like squishier, and overall it is a healthier alternative. And if it bursts, your life isn't as in danger as it would be if a silicone implant burst or started leaking in your system. So that's something that I also really wanted to like keep my mind in. But that's how I went about it. I think that's where you need to start, is ask yourself, like, do I want like big honking corn titties, or do I want like nice little teardrop like natural looking boobies? Both are valid, both are okay. I have friends who were like, I paid for them to look like cantaloupes on a twig. I love that look, like be touching my chin, and I'm all about that, like to each their own. But for me personally, I knew what I wanted, so that's what I researched and that's what I went with. I'm telling you, you guys are asking all the right questions. Did the sensation come back? So I didn't go through the nipple, and I know that's what you're asking. Like if I lost sensation there, I didn't go through the nipple because I didn't even want to take that risk. Like I've, again, just from having a boob job, you meet other girls that have boob jobs, you talk to other girls, and getting your boobs done through the nipple, like I've heard great stories, but I've also heard nightmare stories. And I decided to not go through the nipple. I decided to go the safest route, and that was under, and I went under the muscle because I know a lot of people are asking, did you go above or under? I definitely went under. My surgeon explained to me that if I were to go above, there's so many chances that you can actually see the implant, and I was like, no. And I don't know, just a bunch of other things that I was really turned off about going above the muscles. And I just wanted to keep my options open, like for future plans. If anything, I just was like, definitely under the muscle is where we're gonna do this thing. So to answer your question, no, I didn't lose sensation, but I also didn't go through the nipple. And for those of you guys who are like, can you lose sensation like under the boob? So the way my surgeon explained it, and now I kind of understand it, is you do kill off some nerves, I feel like, in your under part of your boob, but under your boob. Like if I were to touch the under part of my boob right now and just like touch the skin, like I could feel my fingers touching. Like I know what that feels like. Like if my fingers were slimy under my boobs, I would feel the sliminess. But some nerves are dead under there, and I feel like that's why my pain isn't as bad. Like the second time around, I feel like it's like when you have kids, it just goes smoother. Like you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. But no, I did not lose any sensitivity. One of mine is bigger than the other. What do I do? You don't have to do a thing. If you are thinking about getting a boob job, they do an assessment, you guys. They look at your boobs, they measure them. It is their actual job. Like they do everything and anything to make sure that you leave with exactly what you wanted to walk out of there with. So if you have a boob that is bigger than the other and you want to have a boob job, they know to put a little more saline or silicone in one boob than the other. They know how to make them even for you, just the same as if one of your boobs is lower than the other, they give you the option to lift one. They give you the option to add more, do this, do that. There's options, you guys, and there's way more possible with your body than you think until you like actually have a conversation and go through with your surgery. So they know what they're doing. Be open with them. They have seen it all. They have truly seen it all. There's nothing you can show them that will scare them. There's nothing you can tell them or ask from them that they want to at least have an answer for. And just be open to being open with them. Because at the end of the day, it's what you're paying for, and it's their job to do a job that leaves you satisfied. So do your part and ask questions. You know, do your research, do what you gotta do. Having one boob bigger than the other, girl, that's, everybody has that, I feel like. Nobody's boobs are perfect, unless again, you got them done. It's totally normal. Somebody asked if I think I will go bigger. I'm definitely not going bigger than this. I got my perfect size. I'm very happy with the way they look. And I feel like if I were to go any bigger, like I would look like I'm tipping over. At the end of the day, guys, I am still like a smaller set girl. I'm pretty petite. I'm 5'3". Barely. That's being very generous with myself, but I'm very happy with my size. I'm very happy. I do not believe I will go bigger. I just don't see that happening. I am very good at 400 cc's. That's the #1 question, by the way, that I've gotten asked, is how big did I go? That's why I've like repeated it so many times. But 400 cc's, that's how big I went. I'm gonna put on some blush from Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Cheek to Chic Swish and Pop in Ecstasy. This is one of my favorite powder blushes. And the reason why it's one of my favorite powder blushes, guys, is because it kind of like, once it really sets it to your skin, the formula itself almost looks like you applied a cream blush, but you didn't. This is literally a powder, but it's just such a flawless powder. Do you have any scars? Can you get rid of them over time? And girl, how much is it? Oh, that's another big question that was asked. How much was it? The second time around, it was, I believe, $4,500. The first time around, it was $6 grand. So there you guys have it. Like I said, it's not that much of a difference. You still gotta pay. You still gotta pay the mans. But yeah, that's how much they cost. And let's talk about the scarring. I do have a scar. My scar is about yay big under my boob. And I will say, yes, you can fade it over time, because mine was definitely fading. Like mine for my first surgery was fading, and it was because I was religiously using bio oil on that scar. Like every time I got out of the shower, I put bio oil there. I make sure to keep that scar so hydrated. Well, I made sure. Right now, I'm not really doing that because I still have the tape and the stitches. That's why I'm going to my post-op in a little bit to get my stitches removed. And I don't know about the tape. I think they're gonna add more tape. Oh, and also, I didn't know this, but they actually like stitch you up in the inside too, and those stitches dissolve over time, which is really interesting and super cool. But I just thought I'd let you guys know. So yes, you get a scar, you get left with a little scar, but I feel like you can make it fade over time. I really do, because mine was definitely fading, and I plan on doing the same exact routine once I'm done healing with this one. Massaging the area, making sure it's hydrated. And another good tip is breaking open vitamin E capsules, like the liquid ones, and rubbing just that vitamin E on the scar. Girl, my mom taught me that, and it's a life-changing hack. Last question before I do my lips, because I can't talk talk and do my lips at the same time. Like, it's not a thing I do. Do they feel different to the touch? Will they soften? Yes. Now that I have been through this process and I completely healed from my last surgery, I can 100% attest to the fact that yes, they do soften. And by the time you're healed, guys, they're squishy. Like, right now mine they're pretty hard because I just got them redone. But I would say 5 months after the last time I got mine done, they were like squishy. They were like boobs. Like, you could feel the implant in there for sure, but you could squish the implant around, and I didn't feel like I just had hard plastic balls under my skin. I felt like I had an implant, but it definitely was like a squishy implant, and they definitely like moved and bounced and like flowed like boobs do. It does take a while. You do have to let them settle, and everybody's healing is different, but 100% they soften. 100% they do. So we're done here. I really hope I answered like the burning questions. I know I didn't answer all the questions, but I will say, you guys, there was a lot of repeated questions, and the main ones were the cost, how big did I go, and how do I feel about them this time around? And a lot of it was also like the pain surrounding it. And I'm pretty sure I covered all of those in great detail. If not, again, guys, the comment section is open. I don't think this is the last one I'm going to be doing. I just wanted to do this quick little Q&A before I take you guys to my post-op with me, because I am going to be vlogging that. And like I said, I want you guys as much on this journey with me as I possibly can take you guys on. So you're definitely coming with, and then we'll talk more in the car and all that. But as for the questions and getting a lot of your real burning questions answered, I think we did that. Also, I will say my makeup came out pretty bomb, and so did my hair. And I literally just threw some curls in it. I didn't really do like anything crazy for makeup. I just want to do like a little natural beat that would last me. So we're doing good. Let's get going to our appointment though, and let's see what the doctor has to say. Okay guys, so here's the thing. I came to my appointment yesterday. My appointment was not yesterday, my appointment was today. So that's why you guys don't see the makeup done. Quickly came to my appointment today. We're good. Picked up Autumn again from school today. She's dancing. We're good. Everything's good. We're healing just fine. Everything's dropping, fluffing how it's supposed to. I still have to wear the band, which sucks, but it's fine. And we're grateful. Happy healing. Autumn, any words?
Mom has big breasts.
Okay.